Hi guys, I'm headed to the range today. I have told you before, I'm what they call a mouse gun guy. I like the small guns, the small calibers, the 380s, the 32s. I like the guns that are small enough that you can stick them in your pocket, because I believe in the long run, that's a gun you're going to carry. And a gun that you won't carry, it doesn't matter how big the caliber is. If you don't have it with you, it's not going to do you any good when you need it. That being said, one of the probably worst reputations ever when you talk to guys that know quite a bit about guns is the older 25 autos. I'm not talking about anything real modern. I'm talking about the older stuff. They call them Saturday night specials. They call them junk. They talk about how the 25s are completely worthless. And I've got one that's an old gun. I believe it was brought in the 60s. It's a GT Targa. It is it's a 6-shot, is what it says on the box. I never can remember exactly what it holds, because I don't shoot it that often. But anyway, it's clear right now. And this gun is a hammer operated or hammer fired gun with a frame mounted safety, single action. It's made by Armi Tan Foglio Giuseppe in Italy. And it's the model GT27 in the Targa. I think it was sold under the name Titan, that was imported by FIE. I believe there's been several renditions of this gun. I'm going to bring it up there so you can see it a little closer. And I'm going to talk to you about it. And then, okay, there's a little bit of light. I'm trying to work on my lighting situation a little bit. But as you can see, it's a good looking little gun. It's a heel clip on the magazine, which doesn't help with the reload capabilities of it any. It's a single stack. I thought it was a 7-shot, but maybe it's a 6. I do have 2 mags for it. And like I say, it's a frame-mounted safety system with a cocked hammer. So if you were to carry it, you would carry it cocked and locked. I wouldn't be real comfortable with this, even though I've never had the safety fail. But still, I just have never been comfortable with a cocked hammer and a safety on with a pocket gun. But anyway, that's how you would have to carry this if you didn't want to cock it right before you needed it. But as you pulled it out of your pocket, I believe you could cock it without a lot of effort. That would cost you some time, but I think in the long run that might be a little safer. Anyway, this gun, here's the, turn that light back on, I'm sorry. Here's the box for it. And like I say, I've got the box and the paperwork. I believe, I can't remember exactly how old this gun is. Let me see if by any chance there's anything on the paperwork. It was brought in by Excam, was the importer on this one. I know several, like I say, several importers have brought this in. I was hoping maybe there'd be a date in the owner's manual. I don't see one, and it may not be as old as I'm thinking. It could be a 1970s gun, but it's a pretty old gun. Like I say, I don't know exactly how old. But anyway, I'm going to take that and shoot it, and I think you're going to be surprised. I really do. I'm going to shoot it at the range. Now, I'm also a big advocate of practicing at distances that I think reflect your self-defense distances. So I'm going to be shooting that at probably 5 yards, which is 15 feet, which is as big as most rooms in a house, or, you know, that's what I think of as a distance where someone's liable to step out and demand your money. I just don't believe in practicing with a gun like this at 25 yards. Number one, I don't think it's the gun for 25 yards, and number two, at 25 yards, I think you've got some other options besides trying to draw your firearm. So anyway, I'll be back on after I shoot this and give you a little bit of kind of thoughts on the gun. And like I say, I have not shot this gun in a while, but I think it's going to surprise you when I shoot it, because I don't think the accuracy you're going to see out of it is what most people think of with these little 25s. This will be the little 25 at about 5 yards. I'm going to run 2 mags through it just to show you that it is a very effective close quarters gun. If you don't have anything bigger, it'll do the job. So anyway, it's a little loud out here today, but I'm gonna shoot this, and then, like I say, I'll do most of the commenting back at the house. Gun's clear. Just see if I can zoom in on that without actually having to walk it down there. As you can see, that's going to get the job done. Now, I understand it's not the greatest caliber. I understand there's a lot of knocks on 22s, 25s, 32s, things like that. But look at that shot placement at 5 yards. I can easily cover that with the palm of my hand at 5 yards. And I mean, that's just, those are center mass chest hits. I'm going to load this up and do the same thing again. I'm going to run, now it actually holds, I believe, 8, but I only load 5 at a time. But I'll be right back on and run another round through it. Gun's clear. Those were headshots, and I think this ought to convince you. If not, you're just hard to convince. Now, if you don't think that's going to do the job, then like I say, you're just hard to convince. That's 10 shots in the head at 5 yards. I've got 2 down here that are probably, inch and a half low. And I've got the other 8 that I can cover with 2 fingers. That's got to be an 1.5 inch group at 5 yards. So anybody that thinks that these guns will not shoot, they're sorely mistaken. And like I say, I agree with everybody. The bigger gun's better, but any gun's better than nothing. Excuse me for slipping into just a regular old t-shirt. I had a long sleeve on at the range. It was a little bit windy, a little bit cool, but it has warmed up quite a bit. And so anyway, like I say, I normally try to dress a little nicer on the video. I'm pretty sure that surprised most of you. That's a considerably more accurate firearm than most people will give a little 25 auto. It's clear. that most people will give a little 25 auto credit for. I mean, it's got an amazingly short barrel. You know, it's probably a 2-inch barrel, 1.5 inch, 2-inch barrel. It's not a round that's known for being particularly accurate. It's obviously it's not known for devastating stopping power. But again, my theory is that any pistol is better in an emergency than being unarmed. And I think this proves that even a gun like this, which can still be picked up probably for a $100 bill, is a good viable option for someone that you know doesn't have a lot of money to spend. Do I think it's the best firearm? No. Do I think it's better than a Glock 42? No. It's a little smaller, but I certainly don't think it's as high of a quality firearm. Is it as good as my 9mm M&P compact? No. But you know, it has its place. It's small, it's relatively lightweight, and like I say, it beats the heck out of being disarmed. The 25 auto, in my opinion, does carry some advantages over the 22 long rifle, not necessarily ballistic advantages. I don't know exactly how they come out ballistically as far as the weight. I think that the 25 may be slightly superior, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it is a center fire cartridge, which means that it's going to probably have a more reliable ignition rate, having a primer and being fired that way than a rimfire cartridge. I think that if you shoot enough rimfire, you'll find that you do get some duds, although they're a lot better than they were when I was young. The other thing, in addition to being a centerfire cartridge, it's also a rimless cartridge, which allows it to feed a little bit better through a magazine. So I think that those give it an edge over the 22. By no means am I saying that it's the perfect self-defense weapon, but it's, before you just completely rule it out, take a look at that group I shot, and like I say, imagine that on a center torso. You know, I believe that it would save your life, and it certainly would be better than nothing. Even if you emptied the gun center mass and the assailant did not stop, if you then had to physically engage with them, most likely the blood loss and the shock is going to come into play and allow you a lot better chance in a physical altercation than if the person were uninjured and fresh and not bleeding. Plus, there's a lot of people that if they're shot, even if they don't drop, they're going to run. I mean, I just think there's a lot of advantages to having a gun, mouse gun or not, you know, cheap gun or not, however you want to run it down. I just think it's something to keep in mind. And I know an awful lot of people that make fun of this gun, and then when I ask them to see their gun, they never have one with them. So I hear it all the time out at the pawn shop. You know, I wouldn't carry a gun unless it was a 45. Let me see your gun. No, I don't have one with me. So, you know, a 45 is great. You know, there's no doubt about it. A 9mm is great. They're great guns, but there are times when you're just not going to carry a big gun. And at times like this, open your eyes and open your mind just a little bit to some of the smaller and cheaper alternatives to being unarmed. I'll be back on with some more. Don't forget to practice and train. They're different. And I'll see you with another video soon.